It's okay to ask someone for help, but it's not okay to rely and depend on them, as you should rely and depend only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17, verse 22. It says, "Do not set up any other God with Allah, or you will end up condemned and abandoned." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who turn to Him. Allah is the best disposer of affairs. Assalamu alaikum. I pray that you are well and in an increased state of faith and health, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Today we have an amazing story. First of all, we start by sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So today's story will show you just exactly how miracles can happen when we truly believe and put our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The brother of this story says, "Last Ramadan, one of my friends called me and said, I'm going to Al-Madinah next week. I said, may Allah bless me too. A while later we spoke again and I asked him, where are you? He told me he's in Al-Madinah. I called another one of my friends. I asked him where he was. He told me I'm getting dressed and ready to go to the airport. I asked him, where are you going? Again, this friend also said he's going to Medina. I felt sadness in my heart as I really wanted to go too. I found out though and realized that the command or the order does not come from us but from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It comes first from the heavens and not from the earth. If you focus that the command comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will make it happen for you. If your main focus is in the reasons and the conditions on earth, and you are mindless of Allah whether He agrees or not, then it won't work out. We were a week away from Eid and in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. One of the well-respected scholars of Al-Madinah contacted me. He was asking me how I was doing and advised me to make lots of dua and reminded me of Laylatul Qadr. I asked him, where are you? He said, I'm in Masjid al-Nabawi in Al-Madinah. I'm waiting for iftar and then we'll go pray Taraweeh and then after that I'll be giving a lecture. So I replied, I wish I could have iftar with you this evening in our beloved Prophet's mosque. He replied, welcome, come. I told him I'm in Cairo. He said again, you are most welcome, come. I told him, between us is the Red Sea. How can I cross? How can I come? He asked, so you're not coming? I replied, of course I would love to come. He said, Khalas, Allah is capable to bring you. I replied, for sure, Allah is capable of everything. These are often words we say with our tongue, but we do not feel it in our hearts. So he asked me a question. Is Allah capable of bringing you or not? I replied, of course Allah is capable. Then he asks, and do you believe that? I said, no, because I couldn't make it make sense in my mind to go to have iftar with him after a few hours in a different country. I hadn't booked my flights or my visa or my accommodation, no travel agency, no umrah. How could I possibly go? So he said, if you don't believe Allah is able, Allah will not respond to a slave who tests Him or who doubts His capabilities. Allah is fully capable, but a capable slave doesn't believe that Allah is capable. So when you believe Allah is capable, then let's talk. I told him, I believe that Allah is capable of everything and He can take me right there. He can take me there right now. Is there anything I should do? What should I do on my part? He said, yes, there is. Of course, we as human beings, we like to be active and practical by nature. So I'm wondering, will he tell me of someone he knows at the embassy that might get my documents done? What he advised me with completely surprised me. He said, don't you want to come visit our Prophet? I said, yes. He advised me to continuously send peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. He then asked, do you have money? I said, what I have with me isn't going to be enough. He said, then give to charity. I'm thinking to myself, we are doing the opposite of what needs to be done. Or so I thought. I think I had about £6,000, and I checked the price of the ticket to Medina. It was roughly 8,000 to 9,000. And on the last 10 nights, it increases even more, so 10,000 to 12,000. And one must make the booking well in advance, maybe even before Ramadan. And you most definitely can't book on the same day you're going to travel. And if you do want to book on the same day, it will probably have to be business class. And that's if you find availability. And if you do, it's going to be very expensive. So it's going to be about 20,000 to 30,000. And I only have 6,000. So I called my mother to ask her if she knows of anyone that's in need from our family. She said, yes, there is. So-and-so needs such and such. And so I said, okay, just send across the details and then I'll send them the money. So I transferred 3,000 out of the 6,000 I had. So now I have 3,000 left. I continue to send peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the whole journey back home. I got home and then I got my phone out to check the flights. And I found a flight that's going to depart in 3 hours' time for £3,000. I tried to book the flight, but it wouldn't book it for me because it was too close to the time of departure. So I thought to myself, let me continue sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad. I also prayed 2 rakat and made dua to Allah. I said in my dua, I know, Allah, that if you give me permission to travel, I will certainly travel. I don't know how, but I have complete faith in you, Ya Allah. Straight after, my phone rang. It was someone wanting a consultation regarding their ECG test they just had. So I said, send it to me in the message and I'll check it out for you. I gave him the advice and the consultation ended. I heard a beeping sound from his end in the background. So I asked him, where are you? He replied, I work at reservations desk at the airport. I couldn't believe it. So I asked him if he could book me the flight. He said, of course, send me a screenshot and I'll book it for you right away. And for free if you like. Subhanallah. He asked me, but will you be able to come to the airport before departure by an hour? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I put whatever I could into my bag, called an Uber and left straight away. I didn't even have the time to tell my mother I was leaving. I reached the airport and I went to the check-in counter. The man there said, why are you late? I apologized. He asked me, you going for an Umrah inshallah? I said, yes, inshallah. Can I have your Umrah visa? He asked. I told him I don't have an Umrah visa. He then asks, are you traveling with a travel agency? I said, no, I'm traveling by myself. Okay, so do you have a visit visa? No, wallahi. So how do you intend to travel? I said, by sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We both smiled. He said, 1 minute, I'll get the manager. I started to think to myself, I might miss this plane. I might miss my flight. Again, I went back to sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. The manager comes and asks me, what's your occupation? I replied, I'm a doctor. So then he goes on to ask, have you studied in the UK or America before? I said, yes, I've studied in the UK. Do you have a UK visa? I said, yes, I do. A decision came out just a couple of days ago that those with a UK or American visa can travel to Saudi Arabia and they will be granted a visa upon arrival. Then I got onto the plane and I was headed for Medina. Wallahi, I swear by Allah. Subhanallah, subhanallah.